This is Ray from Dave and Ray's Projects Around. For those of you that have never changed out a light fixture, we're just going to kind of show you how in a short video. We took this down a couple of days ago because it stopped working. So we changed out the light bulbs. It worked for a couple of days and then stopped. We also came over and changed out some light switches thinking maybe that was it, and it still was not working. So we found out that it was the ballasts in the light that ended up going bad. We found one online. It was about $25–30 with shipping. So at that point, it was just easier to replace the light. So that is what we're going to do today. Just give us a few minutes to get prepped, and then we will show you what we're doing. Picked this one out from our local hardware store. It's basically the same light, just a little bit more fancy. So we're going to open it up here. On this side, it's going to give us all of our screws and the bracket to actually hang it to the ceiling, and wire nuts and stuff like that. Just little screws to hang it up. Now we already have one of these in the ceiling from the last light, but we are going to take this ground screw out because there wasn't one in the ceiling. So that's all we need off of there, and then the wire nuts. So this one opens by these little clips on the bottom here. That just takes the bottom off. This is all LED. This is what the little clips were doing. They were just hooking onto this. Oh, there's 3 of them. So we're going to move this out of our way because we don't need it right now. I'm just going to stick it back in the box so we don't end up losing it or it doesn't get damaged. And now I just need to move my ladder because I'm a little short, and we'll show you how to hook this up. So you'll see these different holes. That's for different size boxes to connect it to, and different types of boxes. So you'll see we have 3 wires here, black, a white, and then this yellow is actually your ground wire with a green strip. Now this house was built in 1938, so there's not a ground wire in the ceiling. So in 1938, when the house was built, they only used a neutral and a black and a hot wire. So we're gonna ground ours right here just to this little mounting bracket that's in the ceiling. You'll see that these are all taped up. In 1938, they used wire and tube instead of, in your house you'll probably have Romex, which will have 3 wires. You'll have a black wire, a white wire, and then you'll have a bare wire. That bare wire is going to be your ground wire. But for here, we're just going to mount it here and ground it there. Now with this light, we're going to go ahead and go with the outside holes. It'll just kind of help keep it in that bracket a little bit better because it'll also go up into the box. So we're going to use these holes right here, and that will attach into the box that's into the ceiling. Just make it a little bit more sturdy to where it's not moving around a whole lot and going to fall. So we will go ahead and start getting this wired up so that way we can get it mounted. So we ran into the problem where all of the wire was bare, which, as most electricians know, if that bangs up against anything, it's going to spark and it's going to start a fire. So we just went down, we got some shrink wrap and put some shrink wrap on, and we're going to replace the box. You can see the shrink wrap. This one went all the way up into behind the actual ceiling itself. And then that one wasn't so bad, but we went ahead and did that one as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to be able to stick, let me shut this off, stick the wires through here, and I'm going to attach the box to this right here. Now, we want to be careful because if you can see, there's wood back behind there, and just that little bit that I pushed it up is already pushing that old wood up as well, and we don't want to ruin the floor that's upstairs. So it's going to hang out just a little bit. So you can see that there's damage to the ceiling. We ended up doing that trying to get this old box out. But the bottom of the light is so big, you'll never see it. Now all these fingerprints, we're going to want to make sure that we get cleaned up before we attach the light. So we're going to attach this little cross lever that helps support the actual light, and you'll screw into, and the screws will go into, oop, there goes my crown screw. Earlier I explained that we were going to go to the outside screws. That was with the old box. Now that we have a newer box in there, we're going to go ahead and go in with the inside screws. So that way it doesn't bump into these screws right here. So we'll go ahead and just kind of get these in just a little bit. A couple of threads in there. That'll poke through the bottom of the light so we can see where we're going. We don't want to make sure that they're not cross-threaded. Okay. So I just took the crossbar back off. I feel much better with it being grounded to the actual box itself. So I took some Romax wire and just kind of made it. I'm going to attach it right here. Let me get these pliers up in here. Now you want to pinch this so it doesn't end up coming off. It's nice and tight on that round screw, and then just tighten it like that. Now we can put this crossbar back on the box. Ended up coming loose with all of the moving around, so we want to make sure that that gets tightened back up. There we go. Okay, now we will grab the light and start getting the wires hooked up. And now that we moved the wires around so much, we'll find out which one's the hot wire and which one's the neutral. Okay, so we found out this is your hot, this is your neutral. So in other terms, this is your black wire, this is your white wire, and then your ground. So we're just going to take black. Light's so big it's kind of awkward to hold up here. I'm going to take your black and attach it to your black. Make sure these wire nuts are nice and tight so they don't end up falling off. Make sure both your wires are going to stick in there and stay in there. And we're just going to do the same thing to the white. And to the ground. We're going to stuff all of those back up into the box here. Let's spin that one loose. There we go. Okay. Now that all those are pushed up, we are going to line up our screws here. Oh. Okay, so it wants to go one on the inside, one on the outside. There we go. There we go. We'll take the drill and tighten those down. And now the light is nice and secure. Hey Dave, would you go down and make sure that we turn back on the breaker box? We turned it off at the breaker box earlier. before we got started and took the light down so we didn't have live wires hanging from our ceiling. Flip the switch and we have light. So we'll take the cover out of the box that I put it in so we didn't lose it. Make sure all of our little tabs here are in the open position. Stick that right up in there. And close all our tabs. Where is that other one? Kind of short and can't see here. There we go. And there we go. And now it's just cleaning up this mess. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of Projects Around. If you liked it, give us a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them below and we will sure to get back to you. Thanks.